Hey everyone, Pastor Nat here from Back to the Bible. On today's 5-minute Bible teaching, we're going to be talking about how God remembers you. Three of the most frightening words I think I can hear are, "Did you remember?" Whenever I hear that from my wife, my immediate response is, "What? Well, what did I forget? What did I not put on my calendar? What am I not doing? What did I forget to do?" You're probably not as messed up as I am, but do you have that kind of response when you hear those words, "Did you remember?" But remembering really isn't always a moment for panic. In fact, I think most of the time, it's actually a good thing, and it's even beneficial when we're talking about our faith. Well, here we are in the month of December, and that means it's Christmas time. It's the season of Advent, a time when we remember and anticipate the coming of Jesus Christ. Today, it's a time to remember God's faithfulness. But do you ever ask God, do you remember God? I mean, have you ever thought that maybe God has forgotten you or forgotten about your prayer? If so, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite people in the story of Christmas, in the season of Advent. His name is Zacharias. We meet Zacharias in Luke chapter 1, and this is what Luke says beginning in verse 5. In the days of Herod, king of Judea, there was a priest named Zacharias of the division of Abijah. And he had a wife from the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking blamelessly in all the commandments and statutes of the Lord. But they had no child, because Elizabeth was barren, and both were advanced in years. As you read through the Bible, you will find that people are named the way they are because of who they are or who they will become. And Zacharias, his name means God remembered. As we meet Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth, we know that they are walking blamelessly with God. You see, they were both righteous. Now, this doesn't mean that they were perfect, but it means that they were like Abraham. They were people saved by faith in the promises of God. But then Luke throws in a very unusual detail because he says that Zacharias and Elizabeth had no child. You see, they were both advanced in years. In other words, they were old without kids, and there was no way that they could possibly have a kid. If you read the Bible, you know that there is nothing in the Bible that is there by chance or is there just to fill space. God remembers the prayers of his faithful children. That's why in Luke 1:13, an angel tells Zacharias, "Do not be afraid, Zacharias, for your prayer has been heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John." Zacharias and Elizabeth were righteous. They walked with God, and they prayed to God. They prayed to God for the coming Messiah. They were praying to God for this when the world and the majority of Jewish people had moved on. They were tired of waiting for the Messiah, but yet this couple kept praying. And they prayed that God would grant them a son. Well, God heard their prayer, and he remembered them. Who is this John that Elizabeth would carry? It's John the Baptist, the long-awaited messenger who would prepare the way for the Messiah, Jesus Christ. I don't know where you are today. I don't even know who you are today. But friend, God knows you. He cares for you, he remembers you, and he remembers your prayers. We also know that the prayers of a righteous man accomplishes many things. My challenge for you today is to remember that God never forgets you. He hears your prayers, he cares for you, and he loves you. What he asks of you is to be faithful in walking with him. Today, keep talking to him. Keep following him. He is still listening. He is still listening. He still cares, and he is still remembering. Hey, thanks for joining me today. If you found today's discussion helpful, Please leave a review and share this podcast with your friends on social media. Plus, if you're like most of us, maybe you're struggling today, don't worry, you're not alone. I would love to help. So download our app called Go Tandem. Check out Go Tandem and let us help you win the day.